All right. How you guys doing this evening? So, I'm starting to put this 302 together, and I got one piston in. And I went ahead and put it in, rings and all, because I want to check piston and valve clearance. I think it's going to be okay. I may end up taking that piston back out. But I ran into a problem. I ran into a couple problems. One of them I solved, and I'm getting ready to show you. And the second one, I need a set of rockers because the factory rocker arms won't work with these aftermarket, these big studs. It won't work. So, checkbook time. Of course, it's always checkbook time. Y'all know that. So I got the cam in, and I was getting ready to put the chain on it. It's a 500 lift camshaft, 280 duration, 282 I believe it is. And it's fairly decent sized cam, and I was reading, somebody said with stock pistons, even though they are TRW, they came in these Mustangs forged pistons, but the eyebrows are made for the smaller heads, and the valve reliefs in the piston. And somebody was saying it won't work with 202 160 exhaust, and that's what this is, 202 intake, 160 exhaust. So I'm like, yeah, damn, right. So piston to valve clearance. So the problem I ran into, how do you do a piston to valve clearance check with hydraulic lifters? They're gonna collapse when you put pressure on them out of the engine, right? And that's not going to give you any kind of accurate reading at all. So, I have a solution for you. Let's look at this. I'll tell you how to do it right now. It won't cost you a dime. And all you got to do is really just one. You see, you take the thing apart. Take this little clip off. Take the spring out once you get it all apart. Clean it all up with brake clean. And you put it back together. And it just goes back, and it kind of just like it collapses, everything just goes up, not collapse, but it just goes up against itself, and there's no play, there's no give, there's no spring, nothing. And it doesn't matter that it's a roller, doesn't matter. So you end up with this. That's where it's at, and it has absolutely no give to it, nothing. It's just everything's metal to metal inside. And so that's how you do it. You end up with a solid lift roller lifter. You can't run it. You can't get the clip back in it because it sticks up too hard. But you come over here, you can do your adjustment with your push rod and get your adjustment just right. Basically what you do there is rotate the cam where the high part of the cam is down, get your lifter and assemble all your stuff and get everything in place, get your push rod in there, and get it to where you can actually just roll it, little drag with your finger, but zero lash with the rocker and the valve, top of the valve stem, just zero lash. When you get it to where there's no movement up and down, but you can just move it around like that, but you can feel a little drag. Then you're at zero lash. Now you can check your piston to valve clearance by rolling the motor over. Roll it over. And you got to have your timing chain, of course, all that. And just roll it over one time. But I got this head bolted down. I got a couple bolts in it, and I got a couple more down here. And I got one right here just for stability, so everything's flat and true. And I don't have any head gasket. So whatever it is, you can add on this engine 40 thousandths on top of whatever I come up with. And there's a piece of clay on top of the piston, so it'll catch the imprint of the valves as they open. And that's what you want. Whatever that is, you measure the thickness, and that's your piston to valve clearance. When you take the head back off, take a little oil and put it on top of the piston before you put your clay down, or the clay is going to want to stick to that piston, and you'll just mess up your measurement there. So you want that clay to come off real nice, just so it's just like it is, just like it was when it was on the piston. And then measure that. So that's all it is. You know, it's not really that difficult. All right, so there's a little trick to save you some money, so you don't have to call somebody and order a set of solid lifters. You can actually just make your own. 5 minutes. The plungers are a little tricky. They're not tricky, but they're stubborn to get them apart, but they come apart once you get the clip out. All right then, 10-4. Please like and subscribe. See y'all later.